this is TV for you by TV from me. I think that's how I say it. I haven't got my script here. I'm Adaire Palmer, and today we are talking to Roy Fensom. Now, Roy is has a business called The Moon and Mask, and I'll just get some details for him. He is a let me see, Swedish massage, relaxation massage expert since 2000. He's been using Reiki since 2014, hypnotherapy since 2010, and does chakra balancing since 2017. Roy, you have got an amazing bio here with chakra healing, sound healing, the Tibetan singing bowls. I'm actually going to bring you into the broadcast with us because I want to hear more about what you do rather than having me introduce you. Hello, Roy. How are you doing?
Hi, Adaire. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm good. Thank you so much for joining us here. I always get tongue-tied with the introductions. I really do have to. I really do have to practice that a bit more. Chandel is going no volume, or is that just me? Now, we did have a problem with the audio the other day when I was doing a live inside my group, so Liz can't hear me either. Okay, what I'm going to do, Roy, and this is something that we didn't talk about, you can hear me okay, can't you?
I can hear you fine.
So I'm going to drop out of the a refresh, but while I refresh, I'm going to go. You don't go anywhere. What I want you to do is to start to tell people who are watching how you came to be at this point sitting here talking to me, all right? So you keep talking and I'll be right back. This is live TV at its best.
Thank you. I originally started out doing reading books and the like of spiritual awareness and all the forms there. That led me to massage. Massage led me to Reiki. Reiki led to hypnotherapy and all areas in between. And I'm still constantly trying to update what I know and the people that I meet along the path. I met some wonderful people, and they have led me in directions I didn't think was entirely possible until now. And now I run my own fairs, and we go to markets, and I talk to people like yourself, Adaire.
Hello again. Now, Liz is here. She's saying, I can read your lips. So it sounds like first word, 2 words. Chandel was saying we can't hear anything. So I'm just hoping that that's actually helped it by refreshing the, so they can't hear you either. I'm not quite sure what's happening there because I've just changed the microphone on my, and I can hear you okay. What I'm going to do, now this is, like I said, the beauty of live broadcast, because we don't know what's going to happen or how it's going to happen or whether technology is going to fail us. We can take every precaution, but when we do, when it works, it's beautiful, and when it doesn't, it's a pain in the backside. So let's just see if we can. I'm just going to see, because I can imagine not having audio must be very frustrating for on the other side. So I've got my phone here. I'm going to tune into the live broadcast on My Time TV, and we're going to see if I can actually see the broadcast and hear the broadcast here. So let's go. So if I can hear it here, it says cannot
Looks
play
like
video.
I've broken something again.
Pardon?
So it looks as if I've broken something again.
Roy, we can't take you anywhere. While I'm doing this, how about you just share with us a little bit about the fairs that are coming up? We will talk about some of the other stuff in a minute, but if you just keep talking and I'll just see if we might. Someone says subtitles or Pictionary. Chandel. Hi, Chandel. Thank you. Well, we don't know whether this is going to work or not, but tell us about the fair.
Well, we've got two main fairs coming. We've got two main fairs coming up at the moment. But one is in Europe, one is in Golden Grove.
Okay, so tell me, what do the fairs look like? Like, I mean, I've got insider knowledge because I've been. But why would somebody want to come along to the fair if they're in the area? So we're talking about South Australia. So if they're in the area, why would you want to? What would be the benefit of coming along to the fair?
A lot of people are looking for similar people and similar content. So if you're interested in spirituality or healing of the self or the body, you come along for Reiki treatments, massage, that sort of thing for the health side of it. There's people who have homemade ointments and health products that come along. And there are readers and clairvoyants, psychics. They're there for the people who are looking to gain some knowledge on that side of the spiritual aspect.
Okay, so members of the community, how do you get, obviously you put it on for the community?
Yes, definitely for the community.
Yep. So do you have like obviously stall holders and people helping doing the, like you said, psychic, the mediums and the healers? I actually I think it was your stand when I first met you that I bought some beautiful little incense things from, and so I guess the thing is like what the range you get is quite broad of people that come and have stalls. So if you we try to keep as broad a spectrum as we can to cater to as many people as we can. So we go everything from incense right through to the psychic. There's handmade products, there's scarves, clothing, depending on who we can get at the time to come along to the fairs. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's really quite exciting, and I'd like to talk to you a bit more about that. I actually think what we can do leading up to it, because I know the Barossa Fair, for those people in South Australia, the Barossa Fair is on the 22nd of July. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you have Rotary catering for that, so that's how I know.
Very thankful for that.
But what I'd like to do a bit closer to the date on My Time TV is actually get some of the people who have booked stalls, and we can have a lobby cram here in My Time TV. So we could actually have, maybe 10 people, and we can have 4 on the screen at the same time, and we can have people talking about what it is that they're providing, what services they're providing, what goods they're selling, and have a little bit of a online trade show or a mini fair here before we actually do it IRL in real life. How does that sound?
Yeah, brilliant to me.
Okay, brilliant. So let's say a little bit more about you, because I was refreshing my screen when you were talking about what brought you to be sitting here in the talking to me today. So I'm really interested in what sort of, if I'm asking you to repeat yourself, you can give me the potted version, but what's actually led you down the healing path in the first place is?
Early on, it was just reading different books and the like on spirituality and the different Buddhism versus Rosicrucian and stuff like that. That then led to wanting to do something physical to heal, which got me into the massage. From the massage, I then went to Reiki to learn about the energy. The energy led to human emotions, so that led me into hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy has taken me into chakra balancing. And having done all that, I figured it was just, we had to bring as many people as we could into one place to offer the same thing for everybody that was out there looking for somebody.
Yeah.
Open up their...
And so that was how your spiritual fairs were born.
It was. We went along to a couple of the smaller fairs, and they had a good selection. And I thought, it's just, you've got to have a lot of variety, and you've got to draw in what people need at the time. And if you don't have a big selection, then they're going to come along and get tired of the same thing all the time. You've got to vary it as much as you can. You never know what they need.
Yeah, I know. I'm like I actually wasn't a spiritual fair attendee until recently. I don't know if you know, I'm also trained as a hypnotherapist and NLP practitioner, and which has led me down the path. And you were saying hypnotherapy led you to the chakra healing. Was sort of like a bit the other way around for me, but as you know, for me coming in from a government job, it was black or white or bullshit. And and any of this what we used to call woo-woo stuff was outside of the realms of the scope of my reality. And when I found myself sort of actually killing myself against what was my reality back then, I started searching for a better way. And I think that having people like you around that have done it for over 18 years, you are, I think, probably ahead of your time. And I think with social media, it is an opportunity to really bring the level of consciousness about what's happening in the traditionally woo-woo world up to become more mainstream. So did you have a comment about that?
In my time, I guess I was somewhat woo-woo, as you call it. People just sort of backed away as soon as you started talking about it. But the children now are becoming very aware of this very early, and it's no longer the elder people that are doing it. It's the younger ones coming through that are building on what we've already done.
Yeah. I love the way it is becoming more mainstream, because the old way of thinking about, sort of the doctrine. What did you call the
Rosicrucians?
Is that the now I have to admit my ignorance here is so I was brought up strictly in a Uniting Church Methodist sort of Baptist background, and that was fire and brimstone. So that was the extent of my spiritual engagement. so to find out that there's other stuff out there.
There were a lot of early groups who had different spiritual ideas, but there was always conflict. They never looked at the differences. Well, they should have been looking at the things that they had in common. And there were just too many gaps. So
yeah. So the spiritualism, I guess, as a almost like a discipline in itself. Is that the right word?
Yes, I would say spiritualism is a personal religion or a personal lifestyle, rather than being Church of England or Catholic or Buddhist. If you've got your own spirituality, that is your religion. Yes,
yeah, and I actually think that when the other stuff doesn't work for you anymore, and it's you can't break it, but you can break yourself against it, I believe. Something like spiritualism is something that's almost like a welcome relief when you find it. Well, I know it was for me, and I'm such a beginner on my journey with it. I have my sister is being far more practiced at it than I am, and a bit of a late bloomer where this stuff concerned. But I must say,
that you are blooming.
It's making a huge difference in my life and my relationships. So that's why when I met you, I was so excited to say, well, how can we support the fairs, and how can we get more people in? How can we, because the world needs your message, Roy.
Thank you very much.
It really does. So what does a typical well, I guess there's no typical healing, but what does it look like? So I've got something that's bothering me, or what would happen for me to go, oh my God, I need to see somebody to get this cloud or this monkey off my back or whatever? What would happen that would lead me down the path that would lead me to someone like you?
Well, essentially you would be recognizing that there's something going on that's out of place. And from that you would talk to the friends and the family, and until somebody takes notice and says, oh, I know so-and-so that does Reiki healing or energy healing or crystal healing. You should go along and have a talk with them. And generally a lot of people come to the markets like the Body, Mind, Psychic, Whole Life, things like that, to get in touch with who's doing these things so that they can then catch up with them after the event and say, look, I've got this problem going on. This is what's happening to me. Is this in your line or is it somebody else's line? Put me in touch with somebody.
So we've got Janet here, obviously a fan of yours.
Yes, she's one of our stall holders.
Hi, Janet. Lovely to see you here. Thank you for joining us. Keep us in mind, Janet, because we might have you on the My Time TV in July. How's that sound? We'll get interested people up and running here. But I think that is that's exactly, well, when it was Annette Kirkwood who said, I was talking to her and she said, the spiritual fair's on up at Golden Grove. This was earlier this year. And why don't you come up? And I went, why don't I? So I think
that was the first time we met.
So and that was and she actually introduced us, didn't she? So and I met some amazing people that day, and I got some really amazing goodies, and I was sold. I have to tell you, I really like the atmosphere that you created, and I like the just the whole way it all came together. So how long have you been running the fairs for?
We started the main fairs in 2015, so we're in our third year. It's about the 6th coming up for Golden Grove, and we've only recently included Naroop, so we're going into our second this one, but we want to build that up for the people in the outer North Country areas. Yes,
yeah, I think the regional people would really appreciate that. Because
they have so far. They gave us a good response the last time we were there.
Yes, yeah. Well, I know my friend Paula. She travels to Whyalla, and she's got a huge response there because there's very little happening in the spiritual sort of realm. That was a pun intended. Up there over in Whyalla, and so I think that if you can actually get out there and go to the people in the regional areas, I would believe that there would be a huge call for it. So
there's more coming out in the country now, and they're showing a lot more interest in having groups like myself and others come out.
Yes, so I think it is it's critical to do that, and the people that actually can move and go to where the regional people are, the country people. I grew up and was born and bred in the country, and we got excited when the gang show came to town. The Scouts. Yeah, that's it. Hang on, that's it. My son was in the gang show for a few years, and but I do remember when they actually did the regional tours. And Dad took us. We lived in Clare, and that was sort of like the highlight of the year was when the gang show came, and it was all the city kids coming down and performing on the local in the local town hall. So there's a lot to be said for it. So Roy, when I've got a community called Facebook Code Breakers. There's a group of people who are also, funnily enough, by and large, also healers and hypnotherapists, because they're the kind of people that I really love to work with. And when I said that you would be on today and doing the Tibetan, you had mentioned in your bio about Tibetan singing bowls, and I had some people go, oh, ears are pricking up. And so I just wondered if you just share a little bit with us about the Tibetan singing bowls and how they heal, how they come about, if you've got background about it, because again, for me, it's outside of the scope of my knowledge. And do you happen to have one sitting there that you could give us a demo? So, well, look at that.
I'm prepared.
You go.
The Tibetan bowls, they vary in sizes, but generally what you're looking at is they're each pitched to a particular tone, and that tone matches a certain chakra in the body. and each sound vibrates that area and helps to loosen or move either bad energy or stored energy that's been wasted away and just not doing anything. You want to shift it out and get it going. So you sort of play the tunes, and depending, there's a lot of people that I've assisted with who've used it for sound healings and the like. I help out sometimes down at Glenelg. They do sound healings down there where Tibetan bowls and crystal bowls are used to help just relax the body and get the mind in a different frame of mind. So I'm going to pound the bowl and see what we can get going.
Oh, beautiful.
I don't know whether you can hear that.
I can. I can feel it. It's making my body tingle.
And there are so many variations on the bowls that they range in size from very high pitched for the higher end of the chakras in the crown down to big 47 centimetre and 50 centimetre bowls, which you can stand in and vibrate the entire body.
Whoa, I never heard of those. I went to I've had a sound healing with the bowls and with the there was drums and all sorts of lovely. Cindy Ann McDonald was running a sound healing, and well, it was about a dozen of us sort of laying on the floor of someone's lounge, as you do, and apparently I snored, but I could remember all of it, so I couldn't have been. I don't know whether it actually added to the sound healing for the others or subtracted from it, but I'd like to think that it was actually, is it really? Yeah. That you just get that relaxed that you're actually, you know that you're not asleep.
Yeah.
I didn't think I fell asleep, but if I was snoring, I must have.
You're not the only one. I've been caught myself.
Well, I don't feel so bad now. Because so when you've got that bowl that you had was rather small, so
it's about 10 centimeters, 10 to 11 centimeters.
So how do you know? And I'm not sure if I'm going to ask this correctly. So if you've got your bowl and you've got someone that's that you go, I've identified that a sound healing is something that's going to really benefit you. How do you choose which bowl or what to do, or does that match up with some ailment or some energy block? Or, you know, I know you said the different bowls match up with the different pitches and the chakras.
The difference in the bowl with the tone is the higher the tone, the deeper the vibration. So if you have a surface injury or a surface ailment, then you might use a very deep bowl which has a very low resonance.
Yeah.
And if you have an internal organ which is giving trouble, you might use either a crystal bowl or a higher pitched, smaller bowl so that you can get that higher vibration to penetrate the outer skin and go in deeper.
And that's something that you as a practitioner would hang on, I've just gone solo there. I'm trying to drive the bus and talk at the same time. It's like it's like texting and driving, seriously.
Couldn't do both.
I've got the banner and it's gone across your face. I'm just going to take that off the screen. So let's go. Let's refocus. I'll tell you what, I need a producer for this. I tell you what, it's nothing if not fun. So you as a practitioner would say, all right, well, I've identified that this is where the major blockage is for this person, and this is this is where this is the sort of this is the bowl, and this is what we'd use. Would you use it by yourself, or would you use it in conjunction with, say, hypnotherapy or Reiki, or how does it all mesh together? Because I know as a hypnotherapist, NLP practitioner, you blend them, so you pick up bits of depending on what's happening with what.
I don't think it really matters what you're doing. You can always incorporate something else. With massage, you can incorporate the sound of the bowls just as a background relaxation. With Reiki, you can use it as an energy healing and then just reinforce it by using the bowls to simply calm the patient and perhaps affect the area that you happen to be giving Reiki on. So it has multiple uses, and like you say, you just blend and mix one with another.
So with the Reiki, we'll just have a quick chat about that, because you've got half-price sessions for people who are either watching now or I'll just take our names off, because otherwise the banner that slides through is covering the bottom half of your face and you look like Kilroy. That's better. So just a few words about Reiki. I'm here with Roy Benson. For those who don't have just popped in, I'm Adaire Palmer. We're talking about Roy's business, the Moon and Mask. He's run psychic fairs, spiritual psychic wellbeing fairs in the Golden Grove and the Barossa Valley. The next one's coming up in the Barossa Valley on the 22nd of July, and we will plan on having a lobby cram here. I call it a lobby cram because you can get 10 people in the lobby and 4 people on screen. So before, in the lead up to the fair in the Barossa Valley, I think we'll have you all on again, and we'll just have a bit of a party here and then a bit more conversation about the sorts of things that you can bring to the community through what you're doing. But back to the Reiki, you can see scrolling across the bottom like a newsreader has, Roy has offered to have half-price Reiki sessions until Sunday. So if you are in the area, he also does distance Reiki. So if you are in the area, or if you want to have a distance Reiki healing, it is available until the Sunday, the 3rd of June at 5 p.m. But you must type yes in the comments, and Roy will contact you to claim your half-price session. So we're just about out of time. But if you want to just share with us a little bit about Reiki for the non-Reiki experts here, which would probably be me, and what Reiki is and how that helps people in terms of healing. So
with healing and Reiki, it's basically the person is handling the energy that they're drawing in, and then they're converting it with their own chakras and their own love from their own heart chakra, turning that into a brighter energy so that it can be passed on to the recipient. And it's a healing energy in that it heals emotions, and as well as has the ability to assist in the healing of physical ailments as well. So over long distance, it can be done for if you're going into a hospital or you're just coming out, you need that boost, you can use Reiki for that. Your animals, your plants, your food, they all use Reiki. So it has a multitude of uses. So it's not just limited to the healing of people. Everybody at home can use it just to make their family feel better by making the cooking taste better.
Oh wow! So you do Reiki practices over your cooking as you're cooking, and if you're a lousy cook, it doesn't matter.
Well, it will improve the lousy cook.
I bet it won't improve the Domino's pizza, or will it? Or does it improve your appreciation of it?
Perhaps the latter.
I actually think that, like if you're eating pizza like that, you might as well just eat the box it came in. But there you go. My husband and son, they disagree with us. So Roy, we're out of time right now.
Taste better.
It will. Sorry, it will make it taste better.
I said Reiki would probably make the box taste better.
and your body be able to digest it and give you some nutrition out of it. Because you're actually consuming the cardboard and the grease that's running out of the pizza. So, Roy, I would like to thank you very, very much for joining us. That half hour, it just goes so fast. I'm looking forward to having you back on the show. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to drop you out of the show and then wind it up. And then we'll touch base just in one moment. So thank you so much, Roy, from the Moon and Mask. If you want to contact Roy, there's a link above to his website and also his business page on Facebook. Give him a like, send him a message, type yes in the comments for a half-price Reiki session. Do that by Sunday. Thank you, Roy. Appreciate you. We'll talk in a moment.
Thank you.
Thank you. So that was Roy Fensum, the Moon and Mask and Psychic Fair, Spiritual Wellbeing Fair, organizer extraordinaire. I was going to say extraordinary organizer extraordinaire. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show, Roy. Thank you so much. I'm Adaire Palmer. This is Community TV with Adaire on My Time TV. I'll be back next week at 2 p.m. on Wednesday, Australian Central Standard Time, for more Community TV with Adaire. Have a great week, everybody. Bye for now.